Daval Bovich, a farmer in the village of Jakošvac, near Zagreb, Croatia, faced an ongoing issue that was gradually threatening his livelihood. His farm, known for its rich, fertile soil, became a prime target for illegal parking every Sunday due to the nearby flea market. As the market grew in popularity and the area became part of the Zagreb municipality, the influx of visitors was overwhelming. Despite the available parking spaces at the market, the demand exceeded the supply, and many marketgoers began parking on Bovich's farmland, which was directly across the street. Bovich's farm, essential for growing crops that supported his livelihood, was at risk every time someone parked on it. The parked cars released chemicals like oil and exhaust into the ground, potentially damaging the soil and threatening the crops. As a farmer, Bovich's entire livelihood depended on the quality of his soil, and the continuous parking on his property posed a real danger to his agricultural work. While Bovich's frustration grew, the situation was worsened by the proximity of a large landfill, which already impacted the quality of his land. The cars parked on his farm only compounded the problem. Initially, Bovich tried to address the issue politely by informing the drivers of the harm they were causing to his land. However, his efforts to communicate were met with disregard. People continued to park on his farm, seemingly unaware or unconcerned about the damage they were causing. Despite his best attempts to be courteous, the parking situation continued to escalate, and it became clear that a more direct approach was needed. At this point, Bovich decided to take matters into his own hands. One Sunday, he took action by hopping onto his red tractor and driving onto his land. Rather than planting new crops, he began plowing the field, but this time, it wasn't for agricultural purposes. It was to make sure that the parked cars could no longer leave. He turned the soil so thoroughly that the ground became uneven and undrivable, trapping the cars in the freshly plowed earth. As people returned from the market and tried to get into their cars, they found themselves stuck, unable to move. The scene soon attracted attention, and the police were called to the scene. When they arrived, they found cars trapped in the soil and questioned Bovich about his actions. While Bovich could have faced charges for obstruction of traffic, the police recognized that this was not a typical case. After speaking with Bovich and considering the situation, they concluded that he was well within his rights to protect his property. The land was his, and he had every right to plow it whenever he saw fit, especially given that his livelihood depended on the condition of the soil. The police left the scene without issuing any warnings or fines. The story didn't end there. As videos of the incident spread across social media, including YouTube, Bovich became an unlikely viral sensation. His actions sparked widespread discussion, with many praising him for taking a stand in a peaceful, nonviolent way. One user commented, "People are just so selfish sometimes. Good that you taught them a lesson." Others, however, criticized him, suggesting that he should have posted a sign or found a more constructive solution like charging for parking. Despite these criticisms, the majority of online reactions were supportive, recognizing that Bovich had acted out of necessity to protect his land. Some commenters even suggested that Bovich could have made money from the situation, proposing that he should have cordoned off the area and charged a fee for parking. However, many of those who supported Bovich understood that the real issue wasn't the parking itself, but the potential damage to the soil and crops. One sympathetic YouTuber noted that the cars were releasing toxins into the ground, which could affect the soil quality, especially with the nearby landfill. The damage caused by the cars could have had lasting effects on Bovich's ability to grow crops and sustain his farm. Bovich's actions served as a reminder of the importance of respecting others' property, especially when it's crucial to their livelihood. While some saw his response as harsh, it was a necessary step for Bovich to protect his farm from further harm. His firm stance sent a clear message. His land was not a public parking lot, and he would not allow it to be damaged without consequence. In the end, Bovich's unconventional method of dealing with the problem not only solved the immediate issue, but also highlighted the challenges faced by farmers in urbanizing areas, where the lines between public and private space often become blurred.